Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Sick psychology behind prison guard sexfluencers drawn into fantasy land, romps by twisted lags, and even having babies. It's the ultimate taboo for prison guards and can even lead to them ending up behind bars themselves. But more and more female officers are crossing a red line and having sex with inmates on the wings. And many of those female guards are also flaunting their sexuality on online sites such as OnlyFans. Young prisoner officer Katerina Tatis, 23, is the latest guard whose alleged affair with a con was uncovered while posting sexy snaps for her fans. She was marched to the gates at HMP Feltham after the alleged relationship was exposed by an anti-corruption unit. But what is it that draws these young women to violent criminals? And what is the link between these jail-time trysts and the desire to flaunt their bodies online? Consultant clinical psychologist Eli Godsey, who has worked with prisoners, believes many of the women are drawn in by the desire to save the inmate, no matter how violent the crime. Some of these men are extremely manipulative, psychopathic, and charming, and they employ those tactics on these guards. She told The Sun, "For many of these women, the violent and dangerous men are falling into the little lost boy, the troubled soul category, which makes them want to take care of them and heal them. The women can feel their pain and want to take it away from them, and because they think they can save them, they fall in love very quickly. Some of these men are extremely manipulative, psychopathic, and charming, and they employ those tactics on these guards." Lawyer and relationship advisor Tautvydas Sutkis, who has worked with prison officers drawn into relationships, believes women who swap sexually charged poses for likes are also more vulnerable to being manipulated by devious lags. There is a clear psychological thread connecting social media validation and susceptibility to inmate manipulation, he says. Women who curate highly glamorized online personas often seek external affirmation, whether through likes, comments, or attention. Inmates, especially those with strong manipulative tendencies, are highly adept at identifying and exploiting these vulnerabilities. They understand that women who are used to receiving online attention may also be drawn to intense, persistent flattery and emotional investment, something prisoners have time to perfect. Unlike relationships on the outside where attention is fragmented by daily life, inmates can devote significant energy to cultivating emotional dependence, making their affections feel more consuming and intoxicating. Another reason for the rise in prison sex stunts could be the need for more extreme content on platforms such as OnlyFans. The more risky the act, the more followers a model can attract and, in turn, bring in more cash from subscriptions. Recently, controversial OnlyFans stars such as Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips uploaded videos showing them taking part in record-breaking sex marathons. Bonnie Blue rakes in £350,000 a month posting the footage on her OnlyFans account. In the last 3 years alone, 29 female officers were sacked for romping behind bars, compared to just 9 between 2017 and 2019, while 50 more, from 124 investigations, were suspended or moved to a new role instead. The rise in illicit sex in the cells has also been fueled by sites such as Instagram and OnlyFans, with inmates able to access sexy pictures of female guards on contraband phones. In one shocking case, an inmate started a romantic relationship with an officer by contacting her on social media from his cell. Prison sources also previously told The Sun that some guards in ill-fated relationships go to extreme lengths to give crooks easy access, such as cutting holes in their clothes. After a video of guard and OnlyFans influencer Linda DeSouza, a brew having sex with a lag in Wandsworth, went viral, the prison service admitted that posting on the site was not off-limits for officers. It's unknown how many prison officers feature on OnlyFans, but prison cell sex and female prison officer are frequent searches on Pornhub, bringing up hundreds of videos with one viewed over 4 million times. But it's not just the validation that allows these toxic relationships to flourish. but the lack of outside pressures. It's a relationship based on fantasy. There is almost no normal reality there. You're not doing normal things. Eli Godsey, who has worked in prisons, says that the relationships are a fantasy, and that makes them more appealing to both parties. He told The Sun, "It's a relationship based on fantasy. There is almost no normal reality there. You're not doing normal things. The time spent together is in a very rigid setting, and you don't have enough time together in the real world to start arguing or having issues. This fantasy allows both sides to see what they want to see rather than the reality." Here, The Sun takes a look at the female prison guards who have given in to lust and been caught out having intimate relations with inmates. Married prison officer Linda de Sousa Abreu, 30, was handed a 15-month jail sentence for her illicit relationship with a prisoner in HMP Wandsworth. A video of the swinger having sex with Lag Linton Weirich in his cell was posted on social media last June, exposing their affair to the world and her bosses. She was arrested at Heathrow Airport while waiting to board a flight to Spain after the footage went viral. Initially, she claimed she was terrified for her own safety, but her body-worn camera revealed she had already given Weirich oral sex earlier that day. Outside of work, de Sousa Abreu ran an OnlyFans account with her husband, who was said to be blindsided by the news that she had been romping with Lags. It is said she is now fighting to save her marriage from behind bars. She admitted one count of misconduct in a public office and was handed her sentence in January this year. Mum of 5 Rachel Stanton was caught romping with armed robber Edwin Poole when other staff saw her entering a storeroom for an hour of intimacy. She later avoided a prison sentence for willful misconduct in a public office and was instead handed a 9-month sentence, suspended for 18 months, and ordered to take part in 20 days of rehabilitation activity. The Lag was serving a 10-year sentence at HMP 5 Wells in Northamptonshire when they embarked on their tryst, and Stanton met Poole when she was a trainee for security firm G4S. Prison staff discovered 3 X-rated photos and a racy love letter in Poole's cell from the guard. Outside of work, Rachel was posting sexy photos on social media showing off her cleavage. After her affair with Poole was discovered, Rachel was suspended, but the pair continued their relationship. They went on to welcome a child together before splitting. In sentencing, Judge David Herbert Casey said, "She should have known what the boundaries were. It shouldn't take training to know she shouldn't be doing that. No amount of training will ever stop this from happening. Once emotions are running high, people lose sight of judgment, rationality, and boundaries, and that allows all sorts of dumb things to happen." But Eli Godsey says training is not the issue. It's no surprise that young, attractive women are the ones who are more likely to be targeted. It's like that in every walk of life, he says. The younger guards are more likely to be vulnerable and inexperienced. They may not have had many relationships, or they've had disastrous ones in the real world, and the inmate is presenting themselves as a wonderful person. Plus, there is always the allure of forbidden fruit, and some people do get off on that. No amount of training will ever stop this from happening. Once emotions are running high, people lose sight of judgment, rationality, and boundaries, and that allows all sorts of dumb things to happen. While working at HMP Portland in Dorset, 23-year-old Aisha Galsby struck up an illicit relationship with convict Dino Harrison, who was inside for robbery and drug dealing. The stunning blonde was initially approached by Harrison, then 21, on Instagram, using a phone that had been illegally smuggled into the prison. Throughout their relationship, the pair continually called and messaged each other, with the crook claiming to her that he had never felt love like it. During the course of their relationship, Galsby filed reports about other inmates having access to illegal phones, but never daubed in her lover. Instead, she tipped him off to cell searches so he could hide his prison contraband. Infamous Liverpool gangster Curtis Cocky, Warren embarked on a relationship with prison officer Stephanie Smithwhite, then 40, at Max Security Prison HMP Franklin near Durham. During their relationship, Smithwhite was alleged to have cut a hole in her trousers to make having sex easier, which she denied was for sexual purposes. The prison officer told investigators Once their affair was discovered that Warren was obsessed with her and would buzz her from his cell to get her attention. Smithwaite even had a tattoo of Warren's name next to a rose, showing her infatuation with him, according to a judge. Investigators found they had called each other 213 times in just 3 months. The pair were caught exchanging filthy notes detailing sexual fantasies, with Warren attempting to eat one of the sordid lust letters when he was caught with it. Smithwaite was said to have hopes their relationship would continue on the outside. She was sentenced to 2 years in jail after admitting 2 counts of misconduct in a public office. Warren was serving a total of 23 years for drugs offenses and failing to pay back millions in proceeds of crime. Eventually, her colleagues found his phone and all their love-struck messages, outing their relationship. Harrison was moved to another prison and still tried to contact Galsby, but the prison service intercepted the letters. While their relationship never turned physical, she pleaded guilty to 3 counts of misconduct in a public office and was jailed for 16 months at Bournemouth Crown Court. Prosecutor Kaj Skarsbrook told the court, "One message from the prisoner to the defendant said, 'I have not felt like this about anyone. I never thought it would get deep. I didn't think I would get attached to you. I've never felt love for someone in such a small amount of time.'" A prison service spokesperson told The Sun that prospective workers face a range of checks dependent on their level, including digital, social media, and financial vetting, as well as conducting employment history and criminal record checks. They said, "While most prison staff are honest, we are catching more of the minority who break the rules through our corruption unit and stronger vetting. Where officers fall below our high standards, we do not hesitate to take robust action."